I would say that I'm the love child of Hermione and Ginny. I've always loved to read, and I'm definitely a teacher's pet, although Hermione would put me to shame in every class. But like Ginny, I am active and confident and a little bit of a tomboy. I grew up surrounded by a bunch of guys. To say that I am either one completely would be giving myself too much credit, but I like to think that I am a healthy medium of their good and bad qualities.
This is Potter Watch, the podcast where we give voice to witches and wizards who are providing a new kind of leadership for muggles and the magically inclined everywhere. Join me for episode 13 as Ithaca College senior Chandler Robinson explores her experience as a first-generation Harry Potter fan. Chandler offers her insights on the depth of the female characters in Harry Potter from both her childhood and adult perspectives. We hone in on leadership in Voldemort's corner and wrap up with a Kristen hippie tune, Honeydukes, performed by Mary-Kate Wiles and Joey Richter. So stir up your favorite love potion and get ready for this Valentine's Day trip inside the Pensieve. Okay, Chandler, ready to go inside the Pensieve?
Yes, let's dive right in.
All right, you go. All right. Welcome to Potter Watch, Chandler.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Great. Yeah, it's good to have you.
Thank you. I feel like I'm finally confirming my Harry Potter nerdness to the whole world. Like, This is proof.
Yeah.
You know, most Harry Potter nerds don't get to go on a Harry Potter podcast.
Yeah.
I have the rare opportunity.
Yeah, and you don't seem shy at all about it.
No, this is all a front. I'm incredibly nervous, so
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't appear to be so.
Well, here you can let your geek flag fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That like the Shrek song?
Yeah.
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 I actually have one of those in my house. It's a flag and it's green. It says freak on
Awesome.
it, and the F is the
Yeah.
Shrek ears.
Yeah.
So that was in my room for a while, so I knew exactly how to let it hang and fly.
Awesome.
For perfect aesthetics.
We met in October, Wizarding Weekend here in Ithaca.
Yes, it was my first one. I was really excited.
Yeah. You know, I just heard that there's a Wizarding Weekend in Ontario, Canada.
Ooh, Canada's stepping up its game.
It's a beautiful little town called Goderich. It's sold out.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks like it totally looks like Hogsmeade.
That's so cool.
The architecture there.
Oh my gosh.
And this is not their first year, but it's already sold out. And it's in November, that one.
Oh.
Yeah, so these festivals are just crazy.
We could have one every month and I would be there.
Yeah.
I'm not tired of it.
You bet.
Please keep them up.
Yeah, so you answered the impossible trivia question. Speaking of bedrooms, you mentioned your Shrek.
Yeah.
You knew in Ron Weasley's bedroom there was a poster of the Chudley Cannons.
There are, yeah.
And that they had that year, when Harry first went to the Burrow, that year they were in what place?
They were in 9th place in the league.
And I thought I had the most obscure question, and I was beginning to worry because no one could answer it, and this is the first time I had done trivia like that.
Oh.
And I had fun asking people the questions.
Yeah.
And I just got myself in a tight spot because no one could answer it. So I had all these great questions I couldn't move on to.
Oh, man, that's disappointing, but it's also kind of a point of pride to find a question, that no one can answer.
Yeah.
Like the most obscure.
Right.
Although I did get an answer. I got asked a question during Harry Potter weekend of Mrs. Weasley's maiden name, and that stumped me. I had to Google it.
Yeah.
It's Pruitt.
Pruitt. Yeah. You would have got me on that one.
I know, right?
That's a good
There's
one.
you can never know enough Harry Potter trivia. There's always one more piece of information.
Yeah.
But I was very proud for knowing the Chudley Cannon's place in the league.
Yeah.
Told my mom. She was not as excited as I was, but she was happy that I was happy. Yeah. And I have the free t-shirt, and it's my bedtime t-shirt, and it makes me feel very happy.
Nice.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
Win-win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
At least in my world.
You're going to be a graduate at college. You're a senior, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Scary words.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that your major is
I'm a double major in English
Yep.
and culture and communication.
Exactly. So that got me thinking about you and your mom talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And being maybe of different minds and cultures when it comes to the Harry Potter experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounded like she was not as excited.
My whole family is not as enthusiastic about Harry Potter as I am.
Yeah.
I kind of carry the weight of the whole team.
Yeah.
But I think I'm enthusiastic enough for all of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she didn't have the experience of growing up with it like I did.
Right, yeah.
So I was very lucky to have this with me from the beginning, where she kind of had introduced it to me.
Yes.
And she lived a little bit vicariously through me.
Right, that's my experience with my daughters.
Yeah. I can't wait to go through that with my kids and like have them read it for the first time and see them go through all the emotions of figuring out like everyone and all the plot twists. I had a friend actually who's reading them for the first time right now. So I know at our age, better late than never, but it's always exciting to like have them figure out, oh, are they going to get together? What's going on with Harry and Cho? Now it's Ron and Hermione and Voldemort's in Quirrell's turban. It's like all these things. But it's always really fun to see things through someone else's eyes for the first time.
Yeah. So you're part of a very unique, distinguished cadre of readers, right? Like growing up when the books were coming out.
I was like, 90s kids really had it the best in that we were getting, I mean, I think the first book came out the year I was born. So technically didn't read it when it first came out, but I quickly tried to catch up. And by elementary school, I was reading them. But I got to go to the midnight releases. I forget, what are they called? Midnight releases. And like when the last movie came out, I was sophomore in high school, junior in high school, maybe senior, sometime in high school, and I just bawled at the end because I was like, high school's coming to an end, Harry Potter's over, the future is impending. So it just felt like I grew up with the books, and every time I read them, I was a year older, a year wiser, and something about the book changed and impacted me in a different way. And I think I really was the jackpot age for that to happen. So who knows if I had been born a year or two before or after, how my experience would be different. But I definitely am very happy that 1995 was a golden year for me. I mean, Harry Potter are the first books I can ever remember really loving. And I'm an English major now because I love to read books. And so that love really originated with Harry Potter. And I don't think if I had felt that love for reading that I did with those books that it would have continued on into other ones. But people always say that you don't like to read until you can find the right book, but I found my right book, and it was Harry Potter, and I was lucky to find it at an early age, so I continued that love, and now it's what I study because I like it so much. But I mean, in elementary school, I was a huge, huge tomboy. I only hung out with guys. I ate lunch at a table with all guys, which was radical at the time, because when you were a girl, you ate with all girls. But I remember always reading Hermione and seeing how, you know, she had guy friends, and she was okay, and she was still strong and smart and confident in who she was. And reading that always made me feel like less alone and more confident in the fact that I also was kind of doing that. I wouldn't say it's the same now, but growing up, I always felt more comfortable in a group of guys, and I always felt comfortable in jeans and a t-shirt, and I always wore my hair up, and I was always just more comfortable being with the guys, and that was my culture. And it was also with books, and I grew up though, and now I'm more comfortable with my femininity, and I wear skirts and dresses, but I'm still attached to that tomboy part of myself as well. It's just grown. And I still find comfort with Hermione, just in different ways.
I was just going to say, was there any
interaction
between...
Now I think I appreciate her for how outspoken she was and how smart and brilliant she was and how unafraid she was to be that smart person. You know, it's always really hard to be growing up and be a nerd. You get teased a lot, but Hermione was never ashamed to do that. And she was also a leader. And very confident in who she was, and that's something that resonates with me today. Is I'm trying to go out into the world and be a confident real life adult, and trying to resonate that with other people. Yeah, so you keep finding different things.
So what is an example of that comes to mind of Hermione being a leader that you might find inspiring as you reread the books?
Oh, man. I think I always really like, this isn't necessarily being a leader, but I always really like when she punches Malfoy in the face.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's always the one who was with Ron and Harry, trying to make them like think about a plan. Even though spontaneity is good to have in life, she was always the one making sure that they had food. She was the one who packed the bag, the little dress bag at the wedding, so when they had to escape, she saved their butts. And Ron and Harry would have been dead without Hermione, and all her knowledge that she saves. She's the best at spells. She knows exactly how to prepare for an emergency, and I think I need to be more like Hermione in that. I need to feel more prepared. But she wasn't afraid to take charge and be that person that they needed.
Yeah.
And she just was so good at it. And I think even in like little day-to-day activities and trying to take charge of your own life and how else can you best help others is always a good thing to keep in the back of your mind. To always, I mean, I don't think I'll be running away from wizards trying to murder me anytime soon, but, to have that mentality of, anything can happen, and no matter what, you can be prepared for it. Even if it only takes like a day of planning.
How did that come from punching Malfoy?
I don't know. I just really love that moment.
I just love that moment, yeah.
I've never had the braveness to punch a mean boy in the face. Maybe it's who she is as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, you've made plenty of men who are men Hermiones, just that Hermione happened to be a woman, so it's cool for me to see that as a woman, to have that example.
Yeah.
But I can get, you get life lessons from Harry and Ron too, but for me, it's always good to have female role models, and Hermione's a great one. I mean, I think Hermione, when you're younger, you see Hermione as like the main female, and now I find inspiration from the other women characters as well. Like I find strength in McGonagall and Ginny, and even like Angelina, like all the women Quidditch players, and all the different intricacies behind them, and how the roles that they play are equally as important as Hermione, even though they're not the like lead character.
Right.
So I think just my depth of reading as I've gotten older has impacted me and allowed me to find different qualities in people that I can admire and try and emulate as well. Not that I'm always successful, but I think growing up has allowed me to see that there's more than just the starring characters, and that, the supporting ones are just as important. Like I think Minerva McGonagall is one of my top 3 favorite characters, and she is someone who I would have easily glanced over as a kid as just a professor. But she is one of the coolest women in the whole world. My favorite is just her in the entirety of the 5th book when she's combating with Umbridge and really standing up to
you see this other side of her, huh?
This horrid person, but she always stood by her teaching methods and what she believed in, and she always looked out for the students. When she's like, "Have a biscuit, Potter," when he tells her that like he cursed her out in class or something like that, or told her that Voldemort was back. And she was always looking out for them, and she was also a very smart and strong woman. Also, McGonagall is just all around great human being. Same with like Molly Weasley. That's another woman character I forgot about. She's just like, she is such a maternal figure, but also to raise all those children, keep it all together, and then also kill Bellatrix in the end. That's fantastic. It shows how strong you are. You can do anything if you need to do it. I think that's what the book shows, that you're always more strong. You're always stronger and more capable than you even think of. All you have to do is be put in that kind of situation.
What situations are you going to be put in?
Who knows? My future's a big old question mark, which is intimidating. It's very intimidating. It's exciting. I'm hoping I'm going to go to Thailand. I'm going to volunteer at an elephant reservation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get out.
No, I'm hoping to go to France and be a teacher's assistant. Maybe I'm hoping to look into jobs in radio or publishing or book publishing. Could work with books and be there from the beginning and see how it comes to fruition. I think that would be really, really awesome.
Yeah, right. Like an editor? Or
maybe.
Yeah.
I got to work my way up the system. But start out doing as a temp, doing random little getting coffee. But yeah, I think that'd be super. But I'm also open to a lot of other things. I might be inspired by something tomorrow. Yeah. And then I'll go pursue that.
Right.
But for right now, I'm just trying to graduate.
Yeah.
If I can get to that, then we can worry about it.
Yeah.
So, like Harry Potter, I have loved elephants for a very, very long time. Yeah. I wrote a book about them in first grade.
Get out.
Yeah, I did. I still have it.
Awesome.
It's called Stomping with Elephants.
Excellent.
But I've never seen an elephant in a native land, in a habitat that was meant for its protection, well-being, not used for tourist attractions like a zoo or something like that. Right. I feel like I want to be able to help them and do something and see one in real life so I can break down in tears of happiness. But so I'm going to go to Thailand. There's a reservation I've looked into, and although tourists do go, you actually work with the elephants and you shovel their poop and you give them baths, and that's all I want to do. So they're not ridden. They aren't used for any kind of tourist attraction except the tourists are helping them. They're only doing it for their physical well-being. And other than that, you're just supposed to learn about elephant, like how to prevent the extinction and what it's like to work on an elephant reservation and prevent them from poaching and all those different things. So it's an experience I've been wanting for a very long time, and now finally have the freedom to go do.
Yeah, since first grade, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. If first grade me could see me now, she would be in awe. Yeah. So, really excited.
So it's like a sanctuary.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and then they're encouraging people from around the world to get to know the elephants, to support them.
Yeah, exactly, which I think is fantastic, especially since we're losing them so rapidly. I think we need to look out for them and protect them, and any money and support that can go towards them is good.
One theme on Potter Watch is noticing how Harry Potter fans often are inspired to get out in the world. And in fact, the last episode we talked a bit about whether or not fantasy was healthy or not. Where do you draw the line between escapism and using fantasy in your everyday life? You mentioned earlier a little bit about using it to cope, just to keep you in touch with yourself and to help you not feel alone. But that seems like there's something indeed about the book series that is inspiring a different, a whole kind of culture of embodying the ethos, that people find in Harry Potter, the values that are expressed and illustrated. That seems to really affect people in their everyday lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the characters are just so real and so relatable, and there's so many that there's at least one person in that book that someone could identify with or find refuge in. And also I think it's a good mixture of having a reality, because you get the Muggle world, and then you immerse into a world that you already know, and then you're shoved into how it could realistically also be this world full of magic and adventure. It kind of sucks you in. And it's something that, at least when it first came out, was super different from a lot of the other fantasy literature around it. Except for Lord of the Rings, but those are very, very dense, whereas these were for kids. And I mean, now there's there's a ton more fantasy literature, but I think it's because of how popular Harry Potter was, and how these children's imaginations just grew from reading this and realizing the possibilities of magic in the world, and how you could find it anywhere, even if it wasn't quote unquote real for you. You could find it in this book. You could pick up a stick and all of a sudden you had a wand and you could do whatever you wanted with it. I mean, I have so many memories of playing Harry Potter on the playground, and even though I was holding a wood chip, that still allowed me to do whatever I wanted in the hour I had for recess. I had a whole world because of these books, and it unlocked something in me that no other book has ever done. And I think that's the experience a lot of people have had as well. and it's incredible. And I only hope that, there are other books that can do that for other people. But I think Harry Potter has the advantage of having a huge fandom base, and so many people who identify with that feeling as well, and who absolutely know where you are and where you can go because of these books.
What's the flavor that was his
Oh,
favorite?
man. Do you know this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had this at Universal at the...
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
Is there mint involved? Is that a yes or no?
No.
No?
A berry and a nut.
Oh. A berry and a nut?
Berry and
Strawberry peanut?
a nut. Yeah.
I just remember that he got those for Ron and Hermione one time when he bought them all ice cream.
Yeah.
I guess he likes strawberry peanut.
Yeah. It's good.
I'm actually allergic to nuts, so I don't know what it tastes like. But I'm a peanut butter person at heart.
It's not very good.
Of course it's not. Thank you. Most people would say, wow, you're allergic to nuts. I feel so bad
And
for
you like
you.
elephants? And you like elephants?
I know. It's our one internal conflict that we've had. But I'm able to move past it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'll have some time to just explore and...
Yeah. Delve into who I really am.
Yeah.
Find myself.
Yeah.
Who knows what that'll be like.
Yeah.
I might find someone scary.
You might.
That's a comforting thought.
Everybody has their dark side.
They do.
Right?
They do. Who knows what mine is? I'm hoping to never find out, but you never know. If it's like you're put in the right situation.
Yeah.
You're just as strong or as evil as you can be.
Have any moments where you identified with Voldemort?
Or identify with Voldemort.
Yeah. I'm just going to come right out and ask.
Yeah, no, it's an important question. I would say his fear of death would definitely be that. Other than that, Voldemort and I had very, very different lives.
Yeah.
Not a lot of ground that we met on. But when I was younger, I struggled a lot with the idea of death and dying. And Harry Potter was actually a way I coped with that and kind of confronted it head on. And
Really?
Yeah. The King's Cross Station chapter when Dumbledore and Harry meet in like Harry's mind was actually a huge comforting point for me.
Really?
Yeah. Harry Potter still helping me out today, but I've always understood Voldemort's fear of death.
Yeah.
I would never take it to the level that he has to try and avoid it.
To avoid it, yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely understood that fear for a long time. I still do.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think I understand why Voldemort turned out the way he did, but I don't think I would ever kind of say, oh, this character resembles me in this way, which I'm very lucky to say.
Yeah, yeah.
I think if I were evil, I would be like an Umbridge evil.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think I could do like the whole snake face thing.
Yes.
Where that's a bit of a commitment. But
Yeah.
Umbridge, she didn't have to. All she had to do was be evil in the government, which is way easier. And honestly, in some cases, a lot more evil.
Okay, Chandler, you ready to go to Voldemort's corner to meet Professor Umbridge?
Ooh, plot twist. Yes, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Scary.
Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man. Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man. Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man.
What are the traits of a good leader? How can we know if a leader ought to step down? Professor Umbridge and her decrees hardly uplifted the Hogwarts community of faculty and students. But before you rush out to write the latest fanlet on her backstory to explain her pursuit of power and control, consider Confessions of a Sociopath by M.E. Thomas. In her 2013 memoir, published by Extra Libris, Thomas describes, as in her subtitle, A Life Spent Hiding in Plain Sight, how she, a clinically diagnosed person with sociopathy, has made choices in her life to pursue a moral existence and practice prosocial behaviors despite lacking the fear that usually stops those of us more capable of empathy from manipulating and harming others. As this accomplished law professor astutely points out, while empaths may worry about sociopaths coming to power, there are plenty of cases of emotionally driven, non-sociopathic leaders causing harm and making poor decisions, driven by their fear, anger, and hurt feelings. It is surprising to learn that research on sociopathy suggests that 1 in every 25 people are sociopaths, accounting for only 20% of prison inmates, while they account for 50% of the crimes. We learned in episode 1 from the book The Science of Evil that there are many pathways to empathy erosion. Not all bear the mark of psychopathology. Thomas makes clear that she had both a difficult childhood and genetic disposition to use her lack of empathy to manipulate and harm others in her personal life as well as professional life, and that she was able to use reason to do what was right and good as she developed and matured, even if she didn't feel motivated to. She raises the intriguing concept that there may even be cases where the sociopathic trait of lacking the tendency to be compelled by emotion can be an advantage to acting in a pro-social way, where irrational emotions motivate empaths. From Sherlock Holmes to surgeons, there are examples of do-gooders who do good because they lack emotion. I wonder how you would write Dolores' backstory. Is she just trying to rise to the top by stuffing away her feelings of guilt? Or does she have some innate tendency to be reckless and harm others just by her nature? Either way, can she choose to do what's right? And why would she choose to do what's wrong? You tell me.
Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man. Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man. Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man. Oh yeah.
What is this song? Frustrations of a Young Man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Do you recognize it?
Is it a Wizard Rock song?
No.
What is it?
I'm just teasing. That's me.
That's you?
Yeah, it's an arrangement of a phrase from an Afrobeat song by Femi Kuti.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Femi is the son of Fela Kuti.
I don't know who that is.
Fela Kuti is the originator of Afrobeat,
Cool.
which, it's a whole genre of music.
Yeah.
Grew up in the 70s in Nigeria.
Wow.
Fela played the saxophone and keyboards, and he sang, and he was a band leader. And Nigeria was very corrupt. The government there is very corrupt at the time. Afrobeat grew up out of High Life, which was a African mix of jazz and rock, kind of rootsy music, though, kind of like reggae,
Yeah.
in Jamaica. And so Afrobeat was a little more rocky, funky,
Cool.
yeah, Western influenced. And Fela just, went around the world introducing people to Afrobeat, African music, and they always had African dancers that would dance on stage. So they were taking African culture across the world as well as their, political message.
Yeah.
Telling.
What kind of leader are you gonna be? I mean, they're good. There are a lot of different ways to be a good leader,
Yeah.
and different ways to be a bad leader.
So tell me about Umbridge. She was a leader. She
I mean,
brought in,
hypothetically, she would be a very good leader since she was pretty effective at, in installing herself in this environment and taking control.
Yeah.
But I happen to disagree with all of her policies and what she believes in and who she is as a person. So in my head, she would be a bad leader. But I guess if you just took out all the personality, she was a powerful leader, I guess.
Yeah.
But she was also the worst. I guess I think Umbridge did a good job at showing different leadership roles in the education system and how they can be harmful, even though you tend to think that, education is this great thing, and, shapes your head, so it has to be filled with good information, but it's not always good. There are people who can be out there to manipulate information to get you to think what they believe, which I think happens a lot with textbooks glossing over a lot of American history and things like that, and people not willing to recognize the ugly things of the past, which doesn't make them go away.
Which is why we have Voldemort's Corner.
Exactly. You can't just ignore Voldemort coming back. It's not going to make him not come back anymore. Yeah. It's typical. Yeah. Typical.
So glossing over, manipulating information to have it fit your particular beliefs.
Yeah. She was also very pro pureblood, which is just rude. It's not good it's not kind to other human beings. Yeah. So there was also that element of it. Right. Which can also be said for Voldemort. But, in your government, you don't want your government to be like that. You have the evil guy, and he's clearly going to be pro-pureblood because that's the evil guy. That's what he does. Right. But the government's supposed to be a symbol of, leadership for all the people and represent everyone that they're supposed to be guarding and leading over. Right. Also makes you think about your government.
What's that?
It's a multifaceted poor leadership.
Yeah. Well, and you said something interesting to start out. You said she installed herself.
I guess Fudge did technically install her. Yeah. But I have to think that Umbridge would have, asked to do that. She seems like the kind of woman who would convince.
She seemed like she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, I feel like Fudge wasn't a great prime minister. He seems like he could be very easily manipulated. Yeah. I can imagine Umbridge.
Back to when she first came to Hogwarts, she did not ever seem to present herself as just a regular teacher.
Oh no!
Right, so she comes into a teaching position, not a headmaster position.
That's true. Right, she started from the bottom.
Yeah, but she didn't. To me, she seemed like she was a headmaster when she got there.
Yeah, interrupting Dumbledore. Yeah, trying to make a speech. Yeah, opening. She just knows no boundaries. Yeah, but I mean that's also how she got to where she did, by overstepping them. Yeah, and not being afraid to, step on some toes, which...
With a clipboard.
And really ugly pink shoes. I feel like those are the qualities of a good leader, but I'm not trying to compliment her.
What are the qualities of a good leader?
Not being afraid to step on toes to get what you want, which can be a good thing sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't sit back and just let things happen, right? Yeah. Especially if you have helpful ideas.
Yeah, but if you're a terrible person like Umbridge, then it doesn't work out for a lot of other people. I think what's interesting is that the books tell you Voldemort's backstory, so you can kind of infer where and why he turned out the way he did. Yeah. But you don't get anything on Umbridge. She was just all of a sudden appeared and was this evil character. I would love to know how she grew up, and why she turned out the way she did. Who are her parents? Who raised this woman? I need to know. I feel like that'd be a great Pottermore thing for J.K. Rowling to write. Yeah. Come out with a little excerpt. Yeah. Deep in there. J.K. Rowling, if you're listening to this, please get on that. Your viewership needs to know. Or at least just me. She's listening, so it's fine. She'll get on that.
She may have already. There's a lot Pottermore is.
That's true.
There's a lot.
Maybe I got to do more research. Maybe I'm missing it. It's just buried underneath all that action.
Maybe you're not being diligent about your Pottermore.
I would be very ashamed if I were. I just took my Patronus quiz for the first time, so I haven't. Yeah, I'm a stag, and I'm in Gryffindor, so I'm essentially Harry Potter. I know. I was just as shocked as you were. Wow. You were in the presence of greatness. Yeah. I know. Right. Exactly. I'm not perfect. Yeah. Got at least 2 flaws.
Did Umbridge think she was perfect?
Oh, good question. I don't think she thought she was perfect, but I think she thought that she knew how to manipulate herself in order to put out perfection. So I think she thought that she was a good liar.
Really?
I could see that.
You think she thought she was a good liar?
Yeah. Because I
Kind
don't...
of like, I can lie my way out of this.
Yeah, or like I could put out the image of perfection of this prim, proper woman who's very put together.
Oh, nice. Because my first image when I asked you that question was of her. I wasn't that conscious, but I had the image of her prim and proper.
Yeah, exactly. Like the one from the movies.
Clothes, all
yeah,
the pink, coordinated.
Mm-hmm.
Like the what?
Like the woman from the movie. Like very.
Yes.
I think they did a brilliant job on that casting.
I do too.
That's very good. Yeah, but so I don't think Umbridge was that delusional to think that she was perfect, but I think she knew exactly how to put herself out there to give off that idea.
Yes.
You know, she's very manipulative, so she knows how to manipulate herself into a certain image to put out to others. So she's a smart woman. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Ignorant, but smart.
Yes. What was her motivation?
Her motivation. What's that? Power? Money, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
I mean, she was pretty high up in government. You can't...
Yeah.
It's hard to get there without wanting to attain power.
Yes.
Again, this is why I want to know her background.
Yeah.
I'm so interested, you know? I'm sure she wanted what she thought was best for herself.
Yeah.
And that probably meant money and a certain amount of control. Mm-hmm. She is someone who likes control. Mm-hmm. So maybe she thought that being in a government, something that controls people and things and laws, was where she was meant to be. I think it's like basic human desires. Just like, well, I don't know if that's basic, but you grow up thinking that money and power are very important. And then it's up to you whether or not you actually go for that.
Yeah.
She did.
Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man. Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man. Oh yeah, frustrations of a young man. Oh yeah, frustrations of a
I
young
do.
man.
I have 3 little sisters.
Sister, little?
Little sisters,
Little
yeah.
sister. So you're the oldest.
I am the oldest. I guess they're not so little anymore, but
You're the trailblazer.
I know. Big pressure.
Wow.
I know. They're going to do just fine with or without me, but there is always that. I think I put pressure on myself to be a good role model.
Yeah.
I think I am, but I think I expect more from me for them than they expect from me at all. But I don't think it's, they make me try to be a better person, so I don't think it's bad pressure.
Yeah.
But I think, especially like graduating and trying to be a real human, I feel a lot of pressure to like really try and step up to the plate and be successful in what I try.
Yeah.
So I can set a good example for them.
Yeah.
But that is kind of unrealistic to just go out and automatically be successful. So that's something that I am personally working on. But I think my independence and my leadership has always stemmed from being their older sister.
Yeah.
And always wanting to be a good one for them.
Yeah. So what do you do with them to be a good sister?
That has evolved, I think.
What have you done? Yeah. Or what have you done? Yeah, that might have changed over the years.
I think it's like the little things when I go home and go out away to spend time with them. Mm-hmm. Doing things all together is really important. I always tell them that I love them.
Yeah.
I think leadership stems, at least in my sisters, stems from the small things and always making sure that they know that I am there to support them. And even though I make fun of them relentlessly, it is, it's good-natured. I got to keep them humble, keep them grounded. I do it out of love. And always let them know how proud I am of them. Whenever they have an accomplishment, it's also mine. And I don't know, they're all so incredible that it's really easy for me to feel proud and to love them. They're all so fantastic as people. So I think now it's just being able to support them from far away when they're all off doing different things in different places. Yeah. And I'm here. But Just always letting them know that I'm here and
Yeah.
trying to be the best person I can in my own life and sharing that with them as well.
Yeah. You remind me of Sirius Black.
Do I?
Yeah, in that way.
Thank you.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, Sirius Black's a great person.
Yeah. Yeah, he always checked in
Yeah.
through the fireplace.
The fireplace.
Right?
Yeah. I wish I could turn into a big cuddly dog. I think my sisters would like me
Yeah.
more if I could.
Yeah. Yeah. Starting out with a fire bowl.
That's true.
Before Harry even knew he had somebody checking in on him.
I know.
Right?
He was always about Harry.
Yeah.
Ugh. Good man.
Yeah. Good leader.
Yeah.
Good man. Yeah. So maybe Umbridge didn't have anybody checking in on her.
Maybe that's true. Seems like the kind of woman who kind of grew up on her own.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parents weren't always there, maybe.
Right.
Maybe they were also government officials.
Yeah.
And didn't spend a lot of
Working
time at
all the
home.
time, right. Not checking in.
Yeah.
Right.
I never thought about Umbridge's past like this in depth before.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many different ways it could go.
Yeah.
Wow.
And maybe she needed to go like spend some time in Thailand.
Yeah.
With elephants, right?
That's the secret to her failures. She just didn't spend enough time with elephants.
Yeah. Who knows where that's gonna take you?
Yeah. It's a bumpy
Or
ride.
how
I
to
got.
use that experience.
Yeah.
Just like to be able to, after fantasizing as a child about elephants, writing a book about them, and there you'll be in Thailand.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Hanging out with them and helping, an endangered species.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Life is crazy.
just by showing up, it is.
Yeah. It's gonna be a bumpy ride, Ernie.
Right.
I say that a lot, and no one ever
That's
understands what the
awesome.
reference is from.
That's great.
But I say it a lot in a really terrible
Yeah.
Jamaican
Oh,
accent.
that really fits.
Yeah.
Could be a bumpy ride.
It's going to be a bumpy ride, Ernie. I can't do a very good impression, but I try.
That sounds good. Better than I could.
Yeah. I think just the quote and what its meaning is more important than the
Yeah.
actual accent.
It is gonna be a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. So better to
But we're on this night bus, so we gotta ride it.
that's right.
Hey,
Hi.
just wanted to say that you
Me?
take my breath away
Aw.
more than any candy store I've been to.
That's so sweet.
You're like a birdie bots, every flavor bean, but a flavor in between, the ones that make you fall on your knees and cry. I'll tell you why I get a sugar rush whenever I'm with you. You're like nothing on the shelves at Honeyduke's, which may be filled with chocolate and sweets, but I know you've got them beat.
Bum 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 bum. Hey, you've got a way of saying everything I want to convey. Still, you know I will give it a go for you. I get a sugar rush whenever I'm with you. You're like nothing on the shelves at Honeyduke's, which may be filled with chocolate and sweets, but I know you've got them beat.
I get a sugar rush whenever I'm with you. You're like nothing on the shelves at Honeyduke's, which may be filled with chocolate and sweets, but I know you've got them beat. We've got them beat. Happy Valentine's Day, you nerd.
If you want to put your leadership skills to good use, check out the Harry Potter Alliance. Just Google the HPA and see if there's a local chapter near you. If not, start one yourself. As always, let us know if you would like to be a special guest on Potterwatch. Just send us an email at potterwatchmail@gmail.com. Potterwatch is produced for fans by fans, here in Ithaca, New York by Tony Catraccia.